Okay, guys. Sorry about that. Um, let's look at number 12. Oh, excuse me. Allergies are horrible right now because of all the pollen. Aminosin, excuse me, is amino acid often used in TPN orders to provide protein for cellular repair and growth. Just some extra information there. The physician writes an order for aminosin 2.5%, 500 milliliters. You only have aminosin 8.5 milliliters, 500 mils. How do you prepare this order using a sterile container? So this kind of here triggers to me allegation because it's in percents and it gives me my order in percents. The doctor wants an order for aminosin 2.5%, 500 mils. I only have an 8.5%. Of course, I know that I'm going to use sterile water or something with zero value to produce this. So I'm going to take what I have, and that would be an 8.5% and a 0%, and then I'm going to take what I need, and that's kind of how you know it is an allegation. They're going to give you an order, and then they're going to tell you what you have, and they may just tell you one, just like they did here, and you have to assume that you're going to dilute that with something that has no drug. So remember here, you simply subtract. So I'm going to need 2.5 parts of the 8.5%. And then my water, I'm going to need 6 parts of. 6 parts of water, 2.5 parts, 8.5%. I'm going to get a total parts, which is 8.5 total parts. Okay, now I need to, how do you prepare this order using a sterile container? Okay, so let's see. I know I need a quantity of 500 mils. I'm going to just kind of label this just so I don't get confused. My quantity is 500 mils. I'm going to divide that by my total parts, which is 8.5. Then I'm going to multiply times that part, which is 2.5. And that's going to get me a total of, I think, 147 milliliters, if I did that right, of 8.5%. Always double check your calculations. And then let's do our 0% or our water. 500 mils, I'm going to divide that by my total parts. And then I'm going to do times 6 parts here. And I should get 353 mils of 0% or of water. And then, of course, if you add those two together, 147 and 353, you should get the 500 mils that you're needing. So that is another allegation that is possibly going to be on your test. Let's look at the next page. Number 21, we've got a prescription for amoxicillin, 250 milligrams, 30 capsules. Has a usual and customary price of $8.49. A lot of times insurance companies will go off of usual and customary. Sometimes they go off AWP. It just depends on the contract with the pharmacy. The acquisition cost of the amoxicillin is 202. So acquisition cost is what we've acquired it at. Wants to know gross profit. So it's just a simple 849 subtract my 202 cost, and 647 would be the answer here. Pretty simple. Okay, 22 is the same kind of problem. I'm going to skip that one. If you need help, refer to my answer key. If you still need help, please let me know. Number 23, prescription is written for dicyclamine syrup, 10 milligrams per 5 mils. Take 1 teaspoonful HS remembers at bedtime with 1 refill. The insurance plan has a 34-day supply limit. Most are 30. This particular one is 35. We want to get them the most bang for their buck. So we're going to dispense the 34 days because we're going to use the insurance plan's guidelines. Okay, so they're going to take 1 teaspoonful. We don't even need to know our concentration here. We've got our SIG, 1 teaspoonful at bedtime. So we know 1 teaspoonful is 5 milliliters. And if it's at bedtime, hopefully you only have 1 bedtime a day. That's what we are going to assume here. So 5 mils is our daily dose times 34 gets us 170 milliliters is what we're going to dispense. This doesn't happen very often. I think most insurance companies these days have adopted the 30-day supply limits. If it's something weird, you will probably know or have notes somewhere in your pharmacy for particular insurance plans. I don't foresee this being an issue at this point in time of life that we're living. Number 24, I'm not a fan of insulin problems. They're kind of confusing. We'll work this one out together. It's really not that difficult. It's just kind of a lot to grasp. A prescription is written for Humira N. U100 insulin, 10 milliliters, 40 units daily. What is a day supply? Okay. Here you kind of have to know that U100 is 100 units per meal. Okay, so they're going to take 40 units daily. Well, there's 100 units in every milliliter. So they're going to be taking 40 units. So they're taking less than 1 milliliter. And remember, just like always, and this kind of trips people up, but you just take what you need and divide it by what you have. And we need 40 units. Okay, we need 40 units daily, and we have 100 units per meal. So that means when I divide 40 divided by 100, I should have spelled that out. The patient's going to be taking 0.4 milliliters, and it's daily when I look up here, per day. What is the day supply? Well, I'm having to dispense, my insulin vial is 10 milliliters. So I'm going to take my 10 milliliter vial, and I'm going to divide that up by 0.4 mils a day. And that's going to tell me when I divide 10 divided by 0.4, this is going to last this patient 25 days. Okay. Let's look at one more for this video, number 25. I've got a prescription written for tetracycline suspension, 125 mg per 5 meals. It's going to be compounded from capsules and a mixture of OraPlus 50% or Sweet 50%, giving you extra information that you probably don't need to know at this point. How many capsules of tetracycline 250 are needed to prepare the 50 mils of this solution? Okay. For ease, I would get this per one. 125 divided by 5 gets me, I believe, 50. I haven't worked this out yet. I apologize. 125 milligrams divided by 5 gets me 125 divided by 5, 25 milligrams per meal. Compounded from a mixture of OraPlus. How many capsules of tetracycline are needed to prepare 50 meals? Okay. So they need 25 milligrams per meal, and they need 50 meals. So let's get our total milligrams here. 25 milligrams per meal times 50 meals gives me a total of 1,250 milligrams. So I need 1,250 milligrams, and I'm going to divide that up by my 250 milligram capsules for an answer of 5 capsules. Okay, I'm going to stop here.